All right, what's on the bench today? I first have to say where I found this thing. I was out walking with IMSAI dog, and we were walking around the neighborhood, and once a year our city has a cleanup day where you can put anything you want on the street and then they'll come pick it up. So just to get rid of all the junk in the neighborhood. So it's a great thing. And of course, scavengers go by to collect the metals and things like that. IMSAI guy goes around looking for electronics. And I found this, which this thing here sparked my interest. So this is a printer. So obviously somebody had already scavenged the printer. They probably opened it up to take the motors out of it for a robotics project or something like that. And they just threw away the electronics. But it's electronics that sparked my interest. Now there's a switching power supply over here. Maybe we can save that for someday. We'll take a look at that design. But this is what I'm interested over on this side is the control electronics. And looks like there's a Centronics port here or something, a really big one. Doesn't look familiar to me. And then there was some kind of daughter card that went in here with a connector. A lot of times there were fonts that you bought font cartridges. I don't know if that was a font cartridge or just another I/O cartridge. Might have been an I/O cartridge. But there's some ROM and RAM and a microprocessor and some other things. But this thing, what's going on with this thing? It looks like this giant IC. And it's not going to be an IC, it's going to be some kind of type of module, but it almost looks like a daughter card, right? So why would they do that? Why wouldn't they just build one board? Well, if you think about maybe manufacturing tolerances and stuff and your success rate, it might be best that you build a bunch of daughter cards. I would call this a daughter card, not an IC. You build a bunch of daughter cards and then you would populate it onto your main board and be able to separate the two for any kind of failures. But yeah, this thing has me fascinated. So let's pull this thing apart and sort of take a look at what's going on here. Oh wow. Okay. All right, so I've never seen this before. This is the interconnect between the two boards, and that's usually a little ribbon cable. But in this particular case, it's remove this board here. So this is a single piece. It's a stamped metal lead frame, and it's soldered into the board, and then this metal lead frame has a little connector molded on this side of it. So yeah, shout out if you've ever seen this before. This is a new one to me. So yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if it saves much money or I don't know. I've just never seen that before. Oh wait, we'll do the power supply a different day, but yeah, let's get rid of the chassis here. All right, let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. This is a custom Epson chip, so it must be an Epson printer, I guess. Yeah. Says so here. Main Epson. Let's see here. MROM 9 meg. No, BM. Is that a BM? Yeah, BM 256K. And then there's a 27C512 EEPROM and a Epson branded memory chip. Yeah, 1991. When is this thing dated? 91. When's this thing dated here? This is a Toshiba part. Interesting, 91. I guess this thing's built in 91. Yeah, interesting. All right, well, I think what we're really interested in is this thing here. This is the STK6022B. And it is soldered onto the board. And, oh, look at this, some labeling on the back here. 35 volts, plus 35. So plus 35 comes into this board. So it must be driving the motors. Maybe it's a big motor control thing. Here's a plus 35, ground, 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 and plus 35, yeah. And then here's a plus 5 rail. Nice labeling on the back. Yeah, a lot of plus 5s. Interesting. I might think about doing that on some boards. They have a black solder mask on the back, or silk screen, black silk screen, or is that? Oh, wait a minute. Maybe that's. Oh, I think that's just negative printing. So it's where's my magnifier? I think that's just no copper there. Yeah, no silk screening. It's just a negative etch on the copper pour. I wonder if you can do that. I gotta try that. See if KiCad can do that. Okay, so what do we have here? I think we want to remove this thing or pop the top off maybe. Maybe just pop the top off. Let's try that. Oh, I see what's going on. I see what's going on. All right. We need to cut these off. All right, there we go. Let's see what's going on here. Wow. Wow, look at that. Get some glare camera. Get some lighting on this thing. Yeah, so it is a PC board that's been flipped upside down with all of these little legs stuck on it. So it's a weird hybrid thing. It's got an IC. It's got some funny things over here. Maybe those are... Wow, this is fascinating. We need to get this thing under a microscope. So yeah, let me get the rest of this thing off here, and we'll go inside and look at it under a microscope. All right, look at this thing. Look at this thing. This is a wild hybrid. Wow, let's see how big this thing is. Let's see, it is about 50 millimeters by 75 millimeters. Wow, it's giant. Look at this thing. There's a couple ICs and a bunch of transistors, I guess. Those are wild things. Wow. Yeah, let's get down closer and look at this thing. All right, starting a corner here. We see some pretty heavy-duty big transistor here in the center. I don't know what that is. And then we got these yellow things. I don't even know what those yellow things are. They don't even look familiar to me. So shout out if you know what those yellow things are. Wow, look at this thing. Look at how much stuff is on here. Wow, this is amazing. And obviously some big deposited resistors there. Little interesting part right there. Bunch of those. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, this is a weird technology from the 1990s, from the way back. Look at this IC. Look, what kind of IC is that? Let's see if I can focus on that better. Yeah, that's bizarre. We'll try to get a closer look at that later. But then look along the side here, all along here, we've got these kind of output transistors, and all of these resistors here, deposited resistors. Look at this thing. Holy crud. Is this the cheap way to do it? This looks like an expensive printer. Holy mackerel. Yeah, these things here, those are fascinating. You know, if I didn't know better, I'd say they were LEDs, but no, they're not. Wow, this is really cool. All right, let's see if we can get even closer. So there's that one big IC, kind of a strange looking thing. Not sure what's going on there. Look at these. Yeah, those are nice little transistors. I like those. All right, let's get over here. There was some other things over here. Nice big one there. These weird yellow things. Here's a couple other extra ICs doing something. Wow. Okie dokie. That was worth taking off the street. Yeah. Holy, yeah, I'm just I'm just amazed at this thing. 4.3. I wonder if that's a Zener. I don't know what that is. Yeah, you can stare at this all day long. That's kind of a fun thing. Definitely a fun thing. All right. And one last chance to go even lower here. Well, there you go for that one. See if you can reverse engineer that IC. That's pretty bizarre. And these little guys. They're cute. All doing different things. Here are those weird yellow things. Huh. What fun. What fun. All right. I know that a bunch of people would want me to take a look at that EEPROM, see if there's anything in it. There isn't much. Up to this point, it's all just hex code. There's some ASCII at the bottom of the ROM. That's the Epson LQ570. I guess that's the product. I haven't looked it up, but that's probably what it was in. And there's a little bit of things for the display. And yeah, it's all just help file type of stuff, messages to the user. But there's no Easter eggs. Nobody signed it. Coming out of Japan, I wouldn't have expected anything. So yeah, it's just printer stuff. Very, very boring. There you go. Anyway, I hope people enjoyed the teardown of that printer quote IC, that hybrid. That was pretty cool. I liked it. It's amazing what you find on the street these days.